checking the audio. Alright. Shalom Malakim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Akakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all Akim out there that's doing the work in sincerity and charity with humiliation all across the four winds. To you I salute. This is the brother Yahshua from the JMS Bahamas camp. Back at you with a brief spiritual edification. As the title says, the herb of the day is going to be watermelon rind, right? And when I say watermelon rind, that's this part right here. We all know the pink fleshy pieces usually be the sweet part, and this is called the rind, right? And believe it or not, this has more nutrients inside it than this part right here, right? And in this video, I'm going to be, breaking it down as to what nutrients it has, how to prepare it, different ways you can prepare it, and what's it good for. You see, we know the scriptures say the Lord gave us the herbs out of the earth, bearing seed. You see, all fruits bearing seed. And the scriptures also says, thou shalt not abhor the herbs. You see, it'd be a wise idea not to ignore the herbs, right? So I can give a brief tutorial on how to prepare this watermelon rind. But first I can give you a breakdown as to the benefits of the watermelon rind, right? So right off the top, what the watermelon rind, high in fiber, right? So if you're constipated or you have problems, stooling or what's not, once you blend that watermelon rind, you get that fiber hit right then and there, right? The watermelon rind also helps to boost your blood flow. We know watermelon itself is good for boosting your blood flow, but the rind is especially, formulated for that. The rind itself jam-packed full of nutrients, you see. And I have here an article what I was reading on. I came across it again. And it says the watermelon rind is a nutritional powerhouse. It says it's rich in amino acids, L-citrulline, which boosts blood flow and athletic performance, as well as fiber, potassium, and vitamins A and C. And we know potassium is one of those minerals one of those vitamins that if you have a hangover and you intake potassium, it helps to alleviate the hangover. That's how come they tell you whenever you go out on a night drinking and you're about to go to bed, you eat a few bananas, and when you wake up, your hangover wouldn't be as severe because the potassium helps to curb that feeling. You see, some of the key benefits of the watermelon rind, it boosts your exercise performance, so you find yourself having more energy. It says the high L-citrulline content converts to arginine in the body, promoting nitric oxide production. This improves blood circulation, which can enhance workouts and reduce muscle soreness. And when they say enhance circulation, that also applies to your libido as well. So when you intake watermelon rind, watermelon on the whole, but especially the rind, you'll find yourself performing a lot better. You see, being able to go longer, being able to be stronger, right? You know what I mean? It says it improves the heart health. It's good for better circulation because it's a trickle effect. Better blood circulation means more blood getting into the heart, more oxygen-rich blood getting through the body. You see? So better circulation from the citrulline helps to lower the blood pressure and supports overall cardiovascular health. Cardiovascular means heart health, right? It helps in digestion. That goes into the dietary fiber aspect of it. And it provides antioxidants, meaning the rind contains different minerals, vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, chlorophyll, and that fight oxidative stress and lower inflammation. Now, speaking on chlorophyll, chlorophyll is the pigmentation that's in plants, that helps, the food to flow through the plants. And, watermelon rind is jam-packed full of that. But if you wanted an additional boost, you could look at this herb right here. This supplement, it's called liquid chlorophyll. You can look into getting these. You just drop a couple drops into your water and it helps. That really helps with your digestion and your circulation as well. But touching on the watermelon rind again, yeah, the pink flesh is good, but the rind is especially better. So now I can give you a brief tutorial on how to extract, some of the, well, most of the nutrients from the watermelon rind. So now you want to first start, well, after you peel your watermelon, you eat the fruit. And whenever you get watermelon, always try to get some with seeds. Always look for the ones with seeds, because watermelon with no seeds ain't real watermelon. You see, if it don't have no seed, it ain't real. You see, so those GMOs with the seedless watermelons, that bullshit. Don't put that in your body. You see, avoid that. Avoid that. You see, so get the watermelon with the seeds, right? And now after you enjoy your delicious seeded watermelon, right? Usually you would discard this piece here. You discard the rind, but no, especially this piece here, this white piece. This is very, very good for prostate if you suffer from prostate CNCR, right? Now, disclaimer, this is not medical advice. I am not a medical practitioner. This is just for information purposes. Do with this information as you will. You see, just putting that out there. So all of this here, this white stuff, if you have prostate issues, consume this, and this would help you with that, right? That's tried and proven. So once you eat all of this, you take the rind here and you chop it up, right? Once you peel your watermelon, you chop it up. And 2 to 1, you would already have rinsed this, but it wouldn't hurt to rinse it again. So after you chop it up in cubes, right? Once you chop it up in cubes, let me get beside this right here. You put it inside your blender cup. I have a Ninja Bullet right here, right? And then you get yourself some fresh spring water, right? I guess I'll now some inside my tea kettle. You see? I'm using it with a warm water. You can use warm water to help extract it a little more, but you can use cold water if you like. You add enough water inside there, to the fill line, right? It's this a tutorial on how to make watermelon rind juice. Right? So now you take that, put that on there. I can mute this real quick because the blender can be loud. So lock here. See, that's the texture, which you're almost there. You can blend a little more. All right, good. Now, usually, I would let this sit for like 10-15 minutes inside this warm water to help extract more of the nutrients. But for the sake of the video, I'll just show you how it come out. So then you get your big boy mug. Yeah, get your big boy mug or whatever container you want. And you could add ginger inside this for extra inflammatory benefits. You can add turmeric to it. You can add lemon to it. But for me, I just want the watermelon rind for now. So you get your sip, right? And you would take that and you would piece of watermelon stuff in there. You pour that in here, right? And you let that drain out. Now, because this is mine, so I'll use my hands and press it out, right? Press that out. See? Press it all that juice, right? And what you get, and all this is a little bit of that pink flesh and the watermelon rind, all that goodness and beneficial properties of that watermelon rind, all the fiber and thing, right there, right? Squeeze all that juice out. Now, this here, right? This excess here, you could use this for compost if you do gardening. You could throw it inside your garden and then it would break down, for composting purposes. Or you could also take it and you could stir fry it it's a veggie, but yeah, I can tell you something about watermelon stir fried a little bit, you know. Or you could, if you want to, you could put it right back into it and drink it like that for extra boost in fiber. But me personally, I ain't too particular on the grittiness, right? So I just compost it or cook it down with some honey or some jaggery powder. Actually, what jaggery is some jaggery powder. To make it, to caramelize it, to give it a good flavor too. And what jaggery powder is, this is sugar in its rawest form with all the minerals and things still intact. White sugar has everything removed. The only thing left is the sweetness. That ain't really good for you. Brown sugar has some of the minerals, but jaggery powder has everything in it. The highest mineral content of basically any sweetener pertaining to sugar wise, right? So now back to this. You go right back here, squeeze all that juice out, right? And again, remember, this way all the nutrients is all that good stuff inside the watermelon rind. That same green and white piece you throw out, don't throw that shit out. Use that. You see? And once you strain that out, this is what you're left with, right? So now you can either drink that, you can sweeten it with jaggery powder or the sweetener if you like it. But for me, I like to drink it straight up. Or sometimes I get the pink flesh and blend that inside there to sweeten it. And I go from there. Get yourself some ice. And then you got yourself a nice, refreshing watermelon rind drink. You see? And don't forget, whenever we make these things and whenever we take the herbs, we couple these things with prayer. You see? We say a prayer to the Most High. Yah B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem HaKadosh, Babakusha, 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 Tha Palaf Yeshmai Tha, Barak Zah, this meal, Wa Yayan, Babakusha, 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 Tawada, Tawab, Aman. And we know Yayan, is a drink. You see, whether it's wine or a regular drink, you see? And it tastes just so you imagine, like watermelon rind. It ain't sweet, it ain't super sweet, it ain't bitter. It's refreshing, it's a refreshing drink. You see? And again, this would help with cardiovascular health, this would help with prostate, this would help, with blood circulation, this would help, with all manner of different things. Now, you won't limit it to just using the watermelon rind and making it into a drink, I give you two other methods where you can utilize this watermelon rind, right? Because you could also pickle them. And I just so happen I don't have any pickled watermelon rinds, right? But I do have pickled peppers. And the interesting thing about pickling and fermentation is that it helps to boost gut health. It helps to replenish the good bacteria inside your gut. You see, and that's very pivotal, inside your day-to-day life, like mushrooms and eating pickles and things like that. Anything fermented, kimchi and such, is very good for gut health, right? So how you'd pickle them? The same way how you pickle peppers. A little bit of vinegar. You take your watermelon rinds, put them inside a glass container. Don't use plastic, right? Because microplastics is a thing, but that's a topic for another day. That's a serious thing. Put it inside a glass container. Put your watermelon rinds, fill it up as high as you could get it. Half vinegar, half water, some sugar or the jaggery powder, and whatever spices you'd want. So if you want it more on the sweet side, you would use a little bit of cinnamon and ginger, clove. If you want a little zinted, you got a little bit of cardamom pods. See, this cardamom here. This right here, and you don't need much of these, bro. Believe me, because cardamom has a very, very pungent flavor. I wish you could smell this. I love the smell and taste of cardamom, right? You got nutmeg it, but whatever spices you want, pickling spices you want to add it, you add it, right? And then, or you could make it more on the savory side. You know, you could skip the sugar and just use the vinegar, the water, some onions, some garlic, you know, some peppers inside it on top of the watermelon rind. Let that sit for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then just, you know, take one, pop it straight in your mouth. You get the watermelon rind be whole just like that, right? And again, you get the added benefits of eating the rind. Well, you get the benefits of eating the rind, and then you get the added benefits of pickling. And now the second method you could utilize these rinds is in stir fry. Believe it or not, I would recommend, but you don't have to. Use a potato peeler, right? But you would do this while it's little bigger than these because these pieces kind of small. So you use a potato peeler and peel off that outer flesh, right? Just that first top layer, that little layer right there. You would peel that off, right? You peel that off, and then you take these and you chop them up, and you stir fry it and either make like a curry, or same way how you utilize let's say a cucumber or a bok choy or something of the sort. You can use watermelon rind same way. You see, so you can put it inside savory food. So again, these watermelon rind, you know, we coming into these times now, whereas you know food can be a little short, right? And we don't want to, and you're trying to reduce as much wastage as possible, but at the same time we supposed to remember the herbs, you see, avoid not the herbs. So instead of throwing it away, blend it, drink it, utilize it, because you can utilize everything with that plant, with this fruit, you see. Don't throw it away, utilize it. But remember, you know, the watermelon rind, jam packed full of nutrients. You see? Blood circulation, libido, all manner of good stuff. You can't go wrong with it. But that's just a quick lesson what I wanted to bring out. And you know, all things with prayer have to be coupled with prayer and faith. You see? The Most High is the one that gives the healing. You can take as much herbs as you want, but unless the Most High with you, you're not happening. But with that, I don't give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakadash, Shalom.